All right, hello and welcome back to the Spitfire Club. So, unfortunately, on YouTube, we're not allowed to use any music, and so it's not as fun. And then usually in Spitfire Club, we like to dance. So I encourage you to maybe do some jumping jacks before you join us, or to do some headstands or some back bends, or run around in circles, or whatever you want to do, because we love moving. Just that we don't have the soundtrack. So today we're doing one of my favorite books, The Most Magnificent Thing. This book is fantastic. And it's by Ashley Spires. It's about a little girl who is really resilient. So last week we talked about creating, and we talked about being curious and always being able to find a way to create. So in today's book, our friend does the exact thing I have the hiccups that we were talking about last week. She is able to create using things that she finds. And then you're going to have the opportunity to do that yourselves. You ready? Cool. So I'm going to share my screen with you instead of holding the book up, because I think that you're better able to see the book that way. Awesome. The Most Magnificent Thing by Ashley Spires. If you like reading out loud, I encourage you to read along with me, okay? This is a regular girl and her best friend in the whole wide world. They do all kinds of things together. They race, they eat, they explore, they relax. She makes things, he unmakes things. One day, the girl has a wonderful idea. She is going to make the most magnificent thing. She knows just how it will look. She knows just how it will work. All she has to do is make it. She makes things all the time. Easy peasy. First, she hires an assistant. Next, they gather their supplies. They set up somewhere out of the way and get to work. Is that actually out of the way? The girl tinkers and hammers and measures, while her assistant pounces and growls and chews. When she's finished, she steps back to admire her work. She walks around one side. Her assistant examines the other side. It doesn't look right. Her assistant picks it up and gives it a shake. It doesn't feel right either. They are shocked to discover that the thing isn't magnificent or good. It isn't even sort of okay. It is all wrong. The girl tosses it aside and gives it another go. Oops. She smooths and wrenches and fiddles. Her assistant circles and tugs and wags. When she is finished, she stands up and takes a long look at it. Her assistant gives it a nudge with his paw. The thing is still wrong. She decides to try again. The girl saws and glues and adjusts. She stands and examines and stares. She twists and tweaks and fastens. She fixes and straightens and studies. She tries all different ways to make it better. She makes it square, she makes it round, she gives it legs, she adds antennae, she makes it fuzzy, she makes it long, short, rough, smooth, big, small. One even smells of stinky cheese, but none of them are magnificent. What do you think she's trying to make? Let's see. What do they have in common? I'm seeing a lot of wheels. Wheels. What are wheels usually used for? Yeah, for making things go from one place to another. Good point. Let's see, what else? Some of them seem to have some sort of arm that you could hook to. Maybe it's meant for pulling? Oh, good point. Many of them are kind of baskety, so you could put something in it. Which one do you think smells like stinky cheese? Yeah, that one. I think so. Angrier she gets, the faster she works. She smashes pieces into shapes. She jams parts together. She pummels little bits in. Her hands feel too big to work, and her brain is too full of all the not right things. If only the thing would just work. Crunch. The pain starts in her finger, and it rushes up to her brain, and she explodes. It is not her finest moment. Have you ever exploded before? It's okay. I'm no good at this. I quit. Her assistant suggests a walk. It's not much help at first. Let's take deep breaths while we go for this walk with her. What do you say? But before long, she starts to feel different. And bit by bit, the mad gets pushed out of her head. As they stroll along, she comes across the first wrong thing that she made. The bad feelings are about to start all over again. And then she notices something surprising. There are some parts of the wrong things that are really quite right. The bolts on one, the shape of another, the wheel to seat ratio of the next. Well, there are all sorts of parts that she likes. By the time she reaches the end of the trail, she finally knows how to make the thing magnificent. She gets to work. She works carefully and slowly, tinkering, hammering, twisting, fiddling, gluing, painting. Her assistant makes sure there are no distractions. The man says, "This is the perfect thing to ward off bears." The lady says, "This will stop that leak." The kid says, "This one's all wet." Why is it all wet? The afternoon fades into evening. Finally, she finishes. She alerts her assistant. The pair take a good long look. It leans a little to the left, and it's a bit heavier than expected. The color could use a bit of work too, but it's just what she wanted. They climb aboard and take it for a spin. They are not disappointed. It really is the most magnificent thing. See, it was a sidecar. She was trying to make a sidecar. So was it perfect? No. And Spitfire girls everywhere should be saying, there's no such thing as perfect, because that's what we always say. Yeah, it wasn't perfect, but it was just fine. And it got the dog on the scooter with her. So it's pretty cool. So now's your chance to make your most magnificent thing. Using your creator kit that you made last week, or the last time you tuned in your box or in your container of any sort, I'm wondering if you could pull out some random materials you've got and just think of different things that you could make. And none of us are going to make the same thing because none of us have the same materials, right? And there's no objective to this, right? Not everything we make needs to be useful or something you could sell or something that everybody will like. We're going to take the capitalism out of our creating, right? Just create, just make things. That's all that matters. So I encourage you, I'm not going to create anything because then you're going to be like, I want to make the thing Miss Amanda made. No, I am my own creator. You can't copy me because your creation is probably going to be better than mine anyway. So while you're creating, I was wondering if I could talk to you about managing our emotions when we're feeling very frustrated. What did the little girl do when she was having such a difficult time creating? She went for a walk, right? And then she saw some beautiful balloons. She got a cupcake. So there are times when we feel super frustrated, and we also might need to take a deep breath, to go for a walk, to walk away and be alone. There are so many ways that we can disconnect from the frustration for a moment, remind ourselves what's important, maybe be grateful for the things that aren't broken or aren't going wrong or aren't picking on us or whatever's frustrating, and then come back. And sometimes with a fresh mind, we are able to try things anew. So I have something in my throat. So I would like to talk to you about something called box breathing. Lots of people use box breathing, but it's a great way to practice calming down. So even if you can't go for a walk, even if you can't walk away, you can box breathe no matter where you are. So a box has how many sides? Well, trick question, because a box is 3D. So we'll call it square breathing. How many sides does a square have? 4. So what we're going to do is we're going to take breath in for 4, hold for 4, out for 4, and then hold. Ready? Okay. In, hold, out, hold. So I'm going to count because it's hard for me to count and breathe at the same time. Turns out I'm not so good at that. So I'll do your counting and then I'll tell you what to do and you do it, okay? So I won't be doing it right now. Okay. Now breathe in. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold. 1, 2, 3, 4. Out. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold. 1, 2, 3, 4. Great. So the next time you find yourself really frustrated or overwhelmed or scared, or maybe you just want to kind of chill out for a minute, practice box breathing. Maybe it'll help you feel a little bit clearer. I always feel like my head right here is like more open. I don't know why. I don't know if that's a real thing, but I hope you enjoy it and I hope you make some amazing things. If you do create something and you want to share it with us, feel free to tag us on social media. On Instagram, we are Spitfire Girls Read. And or have your grown-ups send us an email at info at thespitfireclub.org. All right, that's all I got for you. See you next time.